Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about the mind and its role and where it's keeping people stuck and trapped on the journey. So welcome. I'm Kathleen from Awakening Meraki. Now, the reason I've decided to talk about this is there's a lot of mind questions today on my comments, which is amazing, right? It's great to get the comments, so thank you for putting them down. And I thought, you know what, it's easier if I just jump on and actually create a video. Your job here as the feminine polarity is to not ask all the questions. The questions is what keeps people looping, keeps people cycling, keeps you focused on something outside of you. I get it and I understand and fully resonate. The mind loves to try and figure this stuff out, but you can't figure out the soul. You literally cannot figure out the soul. I'm actually going to put a post up actually. So when I was early on my journey, I got this meme sent to me from my twin. And at the time I didn't fully resonate. I just thought he was just sending me a joke, right? So the image that I'm going to put up, funnily enough, I stumbled across this just recently, and it's a blackboard, and there's a male figure there, like looking at the blackboard with all these math sums on it, right? So I got that sent to me, but the full meme that I got, there was something missing in the one that I'm gonna put in there, but the full meme that I got also had a mirror in the background. And the words on the blackboard said, trying to figure woman out. And I just thought he was just being a smartass. And but no, and the one that I'm going to attach in a post, actually I stumbled across it just recently, and it made me laugh because I'm like, oh my god. But it's got trying to figure the twin flame journey out, right? You can't figure the journey out. Your mind is trying to understand this, and it cannot. The feminine's role is to come in, feel the energy, transmute the energy, you know, all those oscillations, all the fear, all the anxiety, that nervous system that's been completely wrecked and all gets activated. It's deep diving in. You know, someone popped a comment in there that I just read, and I may or may not respond to it, but if not, it's here, around, you know, something about you can't just you know, I'd obviously made a comment in a video about just ignore what's going on in the physical, and they sort of said, oh, you know, that's probably what's needed at the beginning, but aren't we, you know, we're meant to be transmuting all this ancestral stuff. We can't just spiritually bypass. I just want to get clear. First of all, when I say talking about the physical, ignore the physical, what I mean is what is currently playing out in the physical, because what is currently playing out in the physical was something that you created as a soul probably 6 months ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, right? Ignore what's playing out in terms of if they're in a relationship, the masculine I'm talking about, or they've bolted or they're ghosting you. You've got to ignore it. And I know it's easier said than done, but what you need to focus on is the underlying energy that's activated in you as to the insecurity, right? So if the masculine goes into another relationship, well, a secure person would not care. They would just go, see ya. But on this journey, that's not the case. It's to show you the insecurity so you can transmute it. So absolutely, I am the first person on here to go, we are not spiritually bypassing. This is why I don't personally resonate with just transcending the mind. You know, my journey myself, I've expanded so much. I don't resonate with a lot of the content that's out there anymore. Some I do, some I don't, because the soul has got this, and we interfere on this journey by putting in detoxes and ghosting and blocking and deleting, and you know, and I've learned a lot. We've got to learn. You can't ghost and block and delete your twin, because they are you energetically, and they are with you 24/7. They have never ever left you. You've got to look in and work with the energy as to why you're afraid, why are you avoiding them, why do you want to ghost them, why do you want to block them. Now, I do want to put a caveat in here. If you are in such high obsessive and addictive energy, sometimes it's necessary just to calm the energy down. But I much prefer to say, let's work with the energy first. Let's learn what you've got to do here instead of feeling like you've just got to completely disconnect. So it's learning how to transmute that insecurity, that fear, that, and totally, yes, no spiritual bypassing here, absolutely not. You've got to grieve. And if this person listens to this, listen to my content more, because you will realize that I'm saying, or hopefully resonate, that I am saying multiple times, we do not just transcend and spiritually bypass. We don't just block and delete and ignore what's playing out in the physical. What I'm saying is, don't loop yourself in the story of what's playing out in the physical, because it's already created. You want to now dismantle the creation. How you dismantle it is by shifting versions of yourself, which means shifting stories, shifting all of that stuff. Get right out of it. Your mind wants to try and figure this out. And I'm telling you today that, and forever, anyone that's listening to this, you can't figure this journey out, okay? Get off the blackboard, which I will put in a post. Get away from it. Stop trying to figure it out. I know the mind needs information to help you shift, but if your focus is on the physical form of your twin flame, then you are in deep push energy and you are not focused inwards, okay? You need to come inwards. What would you do if you were the higher self? You would relax in, you'd chill out, you wouldn't have questions. When you work with the energy and you tune into your own energy, you will come into resonance that the energy is within you. I'll do a separate video on this, but you've got to work with the energy, not the physical. The physical follows the energy, right? In everything. The physical follows the energy. So it's all about alignment, energetic alignment. You align to who you are, which is your soul. You're not, your twin will follow the energy, because the feminine, the principle of the feminine polarity leads, right? That is the principle of feminine energy. It leads. The masculine follows. It's the principle of these two polarities. Okay, they're not separate from each other. They are one. So if you're over here looking at them over there, they can't focus. Sorry, if this is the masculine and you're asking all these questions and the mind's going, I want to know what it's like when you get together again, and should I have sex with them, or what happens when they come in this energy, or what happens in the relationship if we come into this physical relating experience. Your focus is here, and guess what the energy does? Repels. You are magnets. When you come into, oh, this is about me, this is about what I desire, what I want, how do I feel? Do I feel amazing in the way that I'm dressed today? Do I feel like I am thriving? Do I feel like I am a goddess or god, or whatever you want to refer to yourself as? Do I feel phenomenal? Am I watering my own garden? Am I peaceful? Am I relaxed? Am I centered? Am I focused on myself? Am I focused on my dreams and the things that I want to experience? Am I focused on what I want to experience sexually? Am I focused on my sensual energy? Is that where my energy is, or is it over here trying to figure this out and what they're up to or not up to, or what could or could not happen? You have to get out of it. That is the mind. Okay, the feminine's role is to embody. Embody means coming back into your body, sensing, feeling, intuition. That's the feminine energy. The creative energy. The feminine is very intuitive, works on their knowing, gets to know themselves at the level of the soul, sees a synchronicity and intuitively knows what that means. Not get into the doing energy of the masculine and goes, oh, what does this synchronicity mean? Does it mean that they're coming back now? No. Tune in, the knowing will come. That's what I wanted to get across today, is all these questions is the mind, and it's going to keep you stuck and looping. And if you really, really sit with this for a moment, If you applied all those questions that you have to somebody else, you just wouldn't do it, would you? You would actually not bother. This is the addictive energy. You've got to pull the energy back. I know it's hard because it's just the mind gets so activated on this journey. You have this deep presence and longing to have them back. But when you work with the energy and you transmute, and yes, all the ancestral trauma, or with whatever you want to label it as, transmute all that energy where you have been asleep, where you've not allowed yourself to feel, where you've not allowed yourself to really feel into the divine self because you've been too afraid to speak, too afraid to be in your own center, too afraid to be in your own voice because of programming and conditioning. You're getting out of all of that. You are the one that needs to transmute it, not the one that needs to figure it out. That figuring it out is the doing energy. It's the masculine polarity, the masculine principle. Figure out your own life, but not theirs. And that own life does not mean including them. Okay, it doesn't mean including them. When you are fully embodied in, anchored in union frequency, I'll give you this. You have no questions. You literally have no questions. You don't need to have them because you've transmuted it all. You've come home to yourself. You are fully embodied and leaned into your beautiful oneness energy. And it's an incredible feeling. You're just not in the mind. You don't have those questions. So I know that you want the questions answered. That is not actually what's playing out here. What actually is playing out when you've got all these questions is your fear-based energy wants to know. Your push energy wants to know. And it's you've got to come to a place where you resonate that the twin is inside of you. The mind is a separate entity to the soul. So when you've got to learn to use the mind as a tool to navigate from A to B when you're driving, or adding up 1 + 1, or how do I want to play around on my website, that's what the mind's for. It's not there to have all these questions. That's your anxiety that's been activated. That's that anxious attachment energy that's been activated. That's what's going on there. Anyway, so just to clear up, we're only ignoring the physical in terms of the story that we've got attached to it and what's playing out. It's irrelevant. I know it's not irrelevant for the anxious energy, but it is irrelevant, and you'll come into that resonance when you transmute the energy. And we are not spiritually bypassing, not on this channel, absolutely not. We are deep diving. We are getting to the core root of what's holding you back so that you can come back into oneness, so that you can collapse that duality within, so that you can really do the energy work and really come into this place where you just feel absolutely phenomenal and you have such deep peace, you're calm, you're centered, you feel beautiful from the inside out, and everything in your physical reality is now starting to reflect all of that. Anyway, as always, sending so much love.